Hello, everyone. It's such an honor to be here with you on this day. Actually, in most communities, Himalayan communities, Losar is not just one day, it's a sequence of days. And Losar, especially for the Tibetan community, also opens up the 2-week period of Chotrul Duchen, also known as the 15 miracle days. And this is a special period for creating merit and in particular for establishing beautiful aspirations, or as some of my teachers and some researchers like to call it these days, for working with our cognitive intelligence, meaning our intelligence with regards to wishes, desires, aspirations, and goals. So I think it's a beautiful invitation to reflect on some of the things that we are setting out to do in the new year, including all the beautiful projects that we might want to dedicate ourselves to. And we'll do, therefore, 2 short meditation sessions. Short is used very loosely here because it means about 20 minutes each. But short compared to our incredible lamas who sometimes spend 20 years in retreat, I guess. And the first one is going to be on the quality of appreciating the big love that pervades this universe. The second one is going to be on the act of sharing that big love. So big love was, as many people know, a catchphrase for Lama Thupten Yeshe, and is also the name of his incredible biography available in the whole for those who might want to dive deeply into those 2 beautiful volumes, chronic, that represent Lama Yeshe's time in this world, but especially the incredible gifts that he has given to all of us, really, because his legacy is still very much alive in the English-speaking countries with regards to Buddhism meditation. He has had a very deep impact on Buddhism in the West. So appreciating this quality of big love, we will meditate on a quality that for His Holiness the Dalai Lama and many other great teachers precedes the more crystallized or specific forms of kindness, such as loving kindness, compassion, empathetic joy, and equanimity. And this quality that precedes those is in Tibetan known as tsewa, which loosely translates into tenderness, affection, love, heartfelt warmth. So this is a quality that is kind of the stem cell of all the types of kindness. And we're going to mostly work with that, but also add a little bit of loving kindness in the second session. So as an act of kindness for ourselves, let's find a comfortable stationary position. Please make sure you're comfortable while doing these meditations. They are mostly an invitation to go deeply into these beautiful qualities of our own heart. And just spending some moments with our body, just adjusting the different parts of the body to make sure we're comfortable and that our body feels stable right now. If possible, if available to us, we can gently elongate the spine, relax and drop our shoulders, slightly tuck in our chin. Choose whether we want to keep our eyes open or partially hooded or fully closed, as long as we're not falling asleep and snoring. And then just allowing our awareness itself to descend into the depths of the body, all the way down to the ground where the earth is meeting us and holding us. Noticing the sensations of firmness and stability in the ground that's holding us, noticing the tactile experiences in our legs, in our buttocks, in our feet. And allowing the body parts that are touching the ground to start releasing some of the muscle tension that's present there. Starting with our feet and toes, noticing the sensations and releasing the tension there. exploring the sensations throughout our legs in general. And then our pelvic floor. Our abdominal muscles and the muscles of our lower back. Then our chest. The shoulders. Upper arms, forearms, hands and fingers. Coming back to the shoulders to then explore our neck and throat. The back of our head. The crown. And the facial muscles. And then for a little while, just noticing the sensations associated with the process of breathing and arising throughout the body. Essentially, the gentle tactile waves that rush through the body, removing all the types of tension. All the discursive thoughts related to the past or the future. And also the feeling of being restless itself. Relaxing the body in this manner, establishing a sense of stillness and stability, is sometimes referred to as the key point of the body, whereas allowing the breath to flow freely is known as the key point of speech. And then the third part of this preparation is the so-called key point of the mind, which refers to establishing a truly vast motivation for the ensuing practice. And this is where we are invited to revisit our own highest spiritual or psychological aspirations and goals. Our most daring dreams related to this whole domain of uncovering our amazing potential for kindness, wisdom, goodness. And as we bring those highest aspirations to mind, we can for a short while rest with them, strengthening our resolve to eventually realize those goals so as to contribute to the greatest possible well-being for all who live. Quite literally directing the energies of our body, speech, and mind towards those goals. And also establishing those aspirations as the foundational motivation for this very practice. And with that as the preparation, we can finally turn our mind towards this quality of big love. And for that, we can revisit something that in modern research on these practices came to be known as the field of care. This idea of the field of care refers to the gathering of all the beings who have been kind, benevolent, caring towards us. And so if we're happy to use our visual imagination here, we can quite literally imagine a field of beings that represent the qualities of kindness, compassion, benevolent wisdom, caring, warmth in the space in front of us. Or even if we're not imagining that visually, just to feel that presence. And this is where we can reflect a little bit on the different beings that were kind towards us. Have been kind, are still kind. Many people would start by placing their spiritual mentors there and perhaps the great realized beings of the past. But beyond that, we can also think of all the kind, benevolent beings from our childhood, our formative years, and really from any period in our life. Anyone who has ever been kind and caring, who listened to us, who empathized, anyone who shared that heartfelt warmth. We can place them in this vast field. And even having a few beings there is enough to start reflecting on this quality of heartfelt warmth, kindness, tenderness, affection. All of these are different translations of the same Tibetan word, tsewa, which refers to our heart's ability to respond, to care, to not be indifferent. So for us, these beings were a source of tenderness, a source of this energetic quality known as affection or tsewa. And in addition to simply reflecting on this, we can open up to this field of care by imagining that this tenderness is still flowing into our being. To this day, we're still receiving tenderness, caring, and all the more specific types of kindness from these beings that we have just imagined, and from numerous others. Opening up to this flow of tenderness and appreciating it are actually fairly tricky tasks to accomplish, because they mean that we have to be vulnerable and open, surrender to a certain degree, open up. And also because in order to experience gratitude or appreciation, as it's known as in the technical language of Buddhism, we need to truly recognize these streams of kindness and the individual acts of kindness that have been performed. But this is where we can very gently use the breath itself to aid us. So when our body performs the natural inhalation, we can absorb the flow of tenderness more deeply, allowing it to nourish us, to nourish our sense of safety, our positive aspirations, our sense of being loved and held and respected and cared for. And when the body naturally exhales, that exhalation can aid us in strengthening the sense of appreciation, a sense of gratitude. Breathing in and absorbing the warmth, and then breathing out with a sense of appreciation for the boundless streams of kindness in this world. If while performing this practice we notice a certain level of resistance within us that manifests in particular as restlessness or doubt, including the doubt about our ability to absorb kindness or doubt with regards to kindness itself, this is something that we can simply release with the exhalation as well, at least as an experiment. Letting go of the restlessness to settle down in this deeper experience of stillness infused, enriched by this flow of tenderness and appreciation combined. And then to open it up a little bit, we can think of things that are beyond just us and our field of care. Because for every being living on this planet, for every being that has ever lived, there was a field of care as well. Each being has been a recipient of boundless streams of tenderness, boundless acts of generosity, empathy, compassion, love. And that just means that reality itself is pervaded by these streams of big love. And as we orient our attention towards this aspect of interdependence, we can rest in the same oscillating rhythm of absorbing and appreciating. Taking the big love in with the inhalation, and then exhaling as a way of celebrating this boundless interpenetration of numerous acts and attitudes of kindness. And while that's happening, even allowing our sense of identity, our roles, our labels, to gently melt away, at least for a short time, rather focusing on the sense of being connected to the boundless streams of tenderness. And then gently anchoring ourselves in the body by coming back to its sensations and experiences right now. Noticing the tactile field, the process of breathing, our contact with the beautiful planet that's holding us. And as we gently anchor ourselves there, introducing a tiny bit of movement by rocking back and forth, moving our fingers, reactivating our facial muscles, and perhaps just stretching for 1 or 2 minutes to prepare ourselves for the second meditation. Eventually, when we feel our body is ready, when we feel we have stretched enough, coming back to a comfortable stationary position, and then spending some time adjusting the different parts of the body to find that perfect balance between stillness and comfort. And once again, as an act of benevolence for ourselves, bringing our attention back to the tactile field, mentally touching the ground that's holding us, appreciating the earth, and allowing the parts of the body that are in contact with the ground to start releasing the physical tension. Performing an abbreviated body scan, but this time allowing it to be informed by the fusion of appreciation and tenderness. And so with appreciation, with tenderness, exploring the sensations in our feet and toes, releasing all the tension that we can release from our legs in general. Softening the muscles of our pelvic floor. Our abdomen and lower back. Our chest. And our shoulders. Finally, exploring the sensations in our upper arms, forearms, hands and fingers. Our neck, the back of our head, our crown, and our facial muscles. Noticing the waves of breathing that move through our body back and forth, softening, nourishing, keeping us alive. And if we choose to attend to them, washing away all the unnecessary discursive thoughts, all the types of anxiety and restlessness. And appreciating how even the natural elements here are, in their own way, tender and kind towards us. The earth that is holding us, the air that is nourishing our body. Everything can be a reminder of that big love. The undercurrent of tenderness in this universe. And our positive motivation for this practice, which we can revisit now, is also an expression of that big love. Our deepest, most profound wish to uncover our amazing potential, strengthened into powerful resolve that we can rest with for a little while now. Even breathing life into it with each new exhalation. And then for the main part of this practice, revisiting the idea that numerous streams of kindness, tenderness, benevolence pervade the world, streaming forth from pretty much every sentient being in one way or another. Where does it all come from? Why do sentient beings express kindness, compassion, empathy? Why are they generous? There is something deep within our own nature. And it seems that this very quality of heartfelt warmth only becomes stronger when we move closer to the core of our very being. Until we discover, as some Tibetan masters have said, that the very core of our being is luminous emptiness with the core of compassion, or compassion with the core of luminous emptiness. And the most simple, immediate expression of that is just our ability to hold something in tender, affectionate awareness. For example, extending it to our very body and mind right here, right now. Holding ourselves in this gentle awareness as if we, as a being, were an adorable kitten or a puppy or a baby. And as if this kitten was placed into the palms of my hands, and I, from my side, was trying to share this feeling of safety, warmth, care, saying to this very being, you're not alone, you're loved, you're safe. It's wonderful that you exist. Resting in this attitude towards ourselves as we breathe in and out. And if we wish, using the exhalation as an invitation to strengthen the aspect of warmth. Feeling that warmth spread throughout our body and mind. The big love that we were previously receiving from the field of care, at least on the level of our imagination, can here be streaming forth from our own true nature. And then extending that to others around us, those physically close to us or other members of our communities. Especially our intentional communities, our beloved communities. But in the long run, all the members of the community of sentient beings, feeling that we are holding all these beings in the palms of our hands and offering them this very sense of warmth and tenderness. strengthening it with each exhalation. Imagining, if we want, that it goes into the depths of their beings, nourishing them as well. Giving them a sense of being safe and loved and respected and held. Telling them, it's wonderful that you exist. And then, following the suggestion of the Buddha and the great lineage masters of his teachings, we can do a tiny bit of flexing with our mental energy by allowing this flow of big love, tenderness, affection to crystallize into 4 individual forms that are appropriate depending on the circumstances that these beings find themselves in. Starting with loving kindness, which is the default mode suggested for our way of relating to sentient beings, wishing for them to have happiness and its causes. And so as we hold all beings in this flow of tenderness, as if they were placed in the palms of our hands, tenderly offering a wish, may you be happy and have the causes of happiness. And with each exhalation, sending that into the depths of their being. And of course, we ourselves as an individual are included in this community of beings that is the focal point for our concentration here. So we could equally say, may we have happiness and the causes of happiness. And then just strengthen that wish as we continue breathing naturally. Some of these beings would still find themselves in stressful, difficult, problematic situations where they experience suffering, different types of discomfort. And then our tenderness, our biggest love, transforms into compassion, the wish to remove that suffering and its causes. So for those who are finding themselves in any sort of pain, physical or mental, and especially existential, for them we can offer, on the basis of our tenderness, the powerful wish of, may you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. Or, may we, meaning the entire circle of beings, be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. Strengthening the aspiration with each new out-breath. Some beings are experiencing joyful moments. Many different types of joy, outer and inner, hedonic and eudaimonic. Profound and superficial. But as long as their joy is good-natured, wholesome, aligned with the principle of interdependence, our tenderness can assume the form of empathetic joy, celebrating and wishing for all of their joys to become even deeper, even stronger. So, still with that tender attitude, we can allow ourselves to experience empathetic joy that says, how wonderful, may this joy grow. Breathing life, as we continue breathing both into this attitude of delight and into the wish, may the joy grow and keep growing. And then finally, because we want all beings to be benefited equally, because we want for all of them to have the openness of heart, because we want the help that they're receiving to always be appropriate to their situation, the final form that our tenderness can assume here is the form of boundless equanimity. Opening our own heart fully, but also wishing, may the hearts of all beings become open in boundless equanimity. Sending out this wish boundlessly and equanimously. And imagining, if we wish, that under the influence of this wish and our tenderness and the big love pervading this universe, every heart does become more and more open. The ice blocks of our grasping melt away and reveal the underlying flow of tender, affectionate interconnectedness. And so for the final part of the meditation, moving on from this aspirational aspect to the aspect of engagement by generating specific wishes, specific desires and aspirations with regards to applying all these beautiful forms of big love in our daily life. Asking ourselves, how can I practice generosity, nonviolent ethical discipline, and so forth in my life right now? What can I do and offer today? And if something specific comes to mind, nourishing that thought, strengthening the resolve, adding the elements of wisdom, patience, and other beautiful mental states, and feeling joy about the fact that we've turned our hearts the energies of our body, speech, and mind towards these beautiful goals and the quality of big love itself. And therefore, dedicating the energy of our practice through this practice of meditation and through everything else that we're doing that's meaningful and kind and wise, may all the hearts in the world become truly open to the qualities of big love and realize big love that is inseparable from the big wisdom. May we always embody big love, be its agents in this world, and create communities that bring big love to others, changing the overall fabric of interdependence in beautiful, positive ways. Then, coming back to our body, spending some time with our tactile field to just notice the sensations and our current experiences. Gently introducing a tiny bit of movement, starting with our fingers or our facial muscles, blinking our eyes open, moving a little bit. And then, with a sense of gratitude to ourselves for having done this meditation, slowly concluding the practice. Thank you. I guess it's lunchtime. Bon appetit. Oh, I also have these, I guess. Thank you. Well, I actually I wanted to finish with a quote from Lama Yeshe, so if you don't mind. It's whimsical, as these things tend to be. And this is Martin Wilson quotes it in his book on Tara, because Lama Yeshe taught Tara practice a lot. So the quote is quite hilarious. It says, "So now we finish. Yes, this incredible, isn't it? Blow your minds, I think so. So simple. Anyway, don't worry. They just want you know." So, honoring Lama Yeshe whenever we can.